Let me start by saying I am Jeff Martin. I am the Director of Communications and Public Affairs at the American Anthropological Association. I am a white male with graying brown hair, unfortunately way more gray than brown, and I am wearing black rimmed reading glasses, which would explain the gray hair. And I am coming to you from the confines, the lovely confines of my kitchen, and in particularly the kitchen countertop because of where we are and the situation we're in. Welcome to Game Changing Job Search Strategies as an Applied Anthropologist. It's a 4-part webinar series hosted by AAA and designed especially for those whose jobs or job opportunities have been disrupted by COVID-19. And I imagine there are a lot of us out there that have been affected by this. The webinar series will run throughout the month of July and will include today's webinar, which is Get Hired, Showcase Your Unique Value. Basically, we're going to be going over how to develop your unique selling proposition. And we're going to be going over doing that through elevator pitches, which is interesting because I'm not sure how many people are going to be in elevators anytime soon. But as I said, this is a series that's going to run throughout July. Part 2 will be next Thursday, July 16th, and it'll be Secrets for Building Networks That Lead to Jobs. The Thursday after that, July 23rd, will be part 3, which is This Is Not Your Parents' Resume, New Ways to Tell Your Story. And then finally, on Thursday, July 30th, part 4, Facing the Interview Squad, Strategies That Impress. Again, it's going to be on consecutive Thursdays throughout the month of July, and each time will be at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you want more information on all of this, go to our site, americananthro.org, which we'll be putting the URL on the chat room. Once you go to our website, you go to the left, you'll see Stay Informed, and you'll see webinars there. It'll take you to our webinar page, and that's where we're going to have a lot of the information you'll be seeking. Back to this webinar, though. We are now going to present a poll for our attendees so we can get a better picture of who's out there right now on this webinar. I'm going to do this. Now, I know we're anthropologists, but don't overanalyze. It's just a poll with 3 questions, and really it's all it is to give us a better picture of who you are and what you're looking for through this webinar. So it shouldn't take too long to fill that out. To make this webinar more accessible to everyone, we will be providing closed captioning, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to take your tab, go to the bottom of your Zoom screen, your little cursor, and you'll see icons at the bottom. And at the bottom, you'll see an icon that says closed captioning. Click on that, and hopefully closed captioning will appear. I would like to remind the presenters to please announce themselves before they speak. And also the presenters, for you, the attendees out there, they'll be providing visual descriptions of themselves and also the slides that they'll be going over. There will be breakout sessions towards the half hour, at the end of the first half hour of this presentation. Breakout sessions are so that we can go into our own individual classrooms. We have so many people scheduled that are on this webinar. It'll be more individualized attention. There will be facilitators that will be assigned to you, and they will help you with your working on your own elevator pitches. Okay, to get to this, don't worry about it. There will be a notification that appears on your screen. And once that notification, a breakout session notification appears, all you have to do is click Join Room, and you'll be in your breakout session. If anyone experiences any technical difficulties in getting into the breakout session, go to the chat feature and get in touch with Scott Hall, our IT person. Again, if you move your cursor to the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see the icons, you'll see the chat room. Click on that, and the chat will appear. At the bottom of that chat room is where you'll see it'll say to everyone. You don't need to send it to everyone. When you click on that arrow, towards the top, you'll see Scott Hall. And click on him, and then individually you can say, hey, I'm having problems getting into the breakout session. He'll help you out. During our breakout sessions, we invite all participants to make it more accessible for everyone. We invite them to announce themselves before they speak as well. If you require closed captioning during the breakout session, again, go to the chat room that I just explained, and Nell's name will be up there as well. You can privately message Nell and say, hey, I'd like closed captioning for my breakout session. Also, overall for Nell, she is our accessibilities guru. She can answer any and all questions at any time, although I hesitate to say 24/7 because she will take issue with that. But she is available during business hours and then some. Just go to accessibility.anthro.org. And again, we're going to put that in the chat room as well, that URL. And any kind of accessibility questions you have, Nell can answer them or do her best to answer them. Lastly, if you have questions for this webinar, you can post them in the chat room, okay? And what I'm going to ask is that you please put the word question beforehand and with a colon after it, and then list your question. This will help us later on when we go and look for all the questions that are in there. Unfortunately, we will not be able to get to the questions due to the time constraints of this webinar. We won't be able to get to them during the webinar, but we are going to have experts answer any and all questions, and we're going to post those along with resources and articles and other things that you'll need regarding this webinar. And as a matter of fact, all the career webinars, that'll be posted again on the AAA website, and it'll be in the webinar section. So just do that. Lastly, I want to also say, if you can answer some questions, what I love about Anthropologists is in our previous webinars on the chat room, people have asked questions, and it wasn't even the facilitators, it was other participants that said, hey, I had the same problem, and here's a URL, this is where I found the answer, or I found this works best for me. We kind of use the chat room to talk amongst each other and actually help each other out. So please feel free to do that. Without any further ado, let me now present our host, Elizabeth Briody.
Welcome, everyone. So glad that you could make it today. Could we have slide 5, please? Next one, Gabby.
This is Nell. Before you get started, excuse my interruption. We have had a quick reminder for everyone who is on video. If you are not currently presenting, for access purposes, please turn off your video. Turn them back on when we get into breakout rooms, but for the duration of the slides, for accessibility purposes, please turn off your videos. Thank you. And back to you, Elizabeth. Sorry about that.
No problem. Gabby, could you put the next slide up? Great, thank you. I am Elizabeth Briody. I am a white woman with eyeglasses and short hair, and today I'm wearing a blue top. I am in my alcove, which is my little space in my house, which has a window. We have a wonderful program today, thanks to the American Anthropological Association. The AAA and its 10,000 members are keenly aware of the disruptions that COVID has caused and the stress that many of us are experiencing. And we do hope that this series of 4 career webinars and the resources associated with them will be useful to you and to others that you know. I would like to take a moment to thank my 2 partners, Dawn Lehman and Joe Aiken, who have worked with me to organize the 4 webinars. And I also want to acknowledge particular members of the AAA staff who have been tireless in their support. And they include Ed Lebo, Jeff Martin, Scott Hall, Gabby Dunkley, Nell, Daniel Ginsberg, and Palmyra Jackson. May I have the next slide, please? Just a little bit about me. I have my own consulting practice, which helps organizations to understand and transform their culture. It's called Cultural Keys. And currently, I am serving as secretary of the American Anthropological Association. Next slide, please. This slide presents just a few ideas for how you might market yourself to a potential employer or a prospective client. Your primary goal is to differentiate yourself from others. You want to show that you are unique. So, how can you accomplish this? You can write about your ideas so that people will see them in places like op-ed articles, in LinkedIn posts, on Twitter, on blogs. You can talk about your ideas in podcasts like This Anthro Life, in YouTube videos, in webinars. You can build and extend your media networks, perhaps through people you know or people that those people know. And there are sourcing services such as Haro, Help a Reporter Out, that you could contact. Do you have a website? If not, consider developing one. And once we're able to interact with people again on a regular basis, pass out your business card or promotional brochures. And now I'd like to turn the focus over to Sherry Briller and Amy Goldmacher. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please. Slide will be my visual introduction. Hello, everybody. I am Sherry Briller, pronouns she, her. I am a middle-aged white woman with curly dark hair that conveys a frenetic pace of working in my home office now on applied anthropology, aging, and social justice issues. I'm a professor of anthropology at Purdue University and the current president of the Society for Applied Anthropology. Along with my colleague Amy Goldmacher, we're going to highlight some key thoughts from our workbook, Designing an Anthropology Career, Professional Development Exercises. And then Amy is going to tell you more about how you can use this resource to create and modify your own career over time. About 15 years ago, I was teaching applied anthropology, and Amy was a graduate student doing a thesis on anthropologists launching careers. We saw that many people loved anthropology, but needed to know more about how to identify their personal and professional goals and follow through on them. People had diverse backgrounds and experiences and needed to know how to explain themselves to employers. We created a series of customized exercises to help people turn their love of anthropology into careers. Next slide, please. Okay, slide 2 is up. It says, what remains true? There are 4 points. I'll read them now. 1, social science is needed more than ever. 2, anthropologists can, should, and do work in many different realms. 3, most anthropologists will work under different job titles. 4, anthropology still offers much that is good for change making. Next slide, please. The header here says what you must be able to talk about concisely and coherently. 4 points. 1, what anthropology is and why it is useful. 2, how your knowledge and skills are valuable for a specific job role. 3, what you can do that is needed for a particular problem or situation. 4, what your goals are and how they fit with the employer's goals. Next slide, Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy Goldmacher. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a middle-aged white woman and I have bright purple eyeglasses and shoulder-length brown hair. I'm sitting in my home office, which is where I run my solo research and consulting freelance business from. So the slide that's up now is explaining the workbook. The slide has the structure of the workbook with a picture of the cover of the previous edition and a text box that says new second edition this fall. The chapters in part 1 establish a framework for how to design or update a career in anthropology or related fields. We talk about how anthropology is important now more than ever and offer ideas for how to find employment in many different realms. Part 2 has 2 kinds of exercises. The first is understanding yourself, and the second is representing yourself. Each exercise includes an example from an anthropology student or professional anthropologist as a model for completion. You can do these exercises on your own, not only in a classroom. They will help you develop a meaningful and lasting career in work contexts that have specific needs that you can help with. Next slide, please.
Okay, I don't know. So the second edition of our book is coming out in this fall, as Amy said. The updated edition of the workbook has the same fundamentals we just presented here. It has new ideas and samples from both students and career changers. I think there'll be a sample from it in the materials with this webinar. For us, the goal was always to help people think through and prepare for anthropology careers, regardless of their job titles or their work realms. We hope you'll find it useful to apply some of these ideas and exercises to your own situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry and Amy. And now we're going to move to Sabrina Nichelle Scott, who will talk to us about the elevator pitch.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Sabrina Nichelle Scott. I am the founder and owner of Fullest Potential Consulting, Inc. This slide reads, using the elevator pitch to showcase your unique value. Next slide, please. My visual description. I am an African-American woman with eyeglasses, long black hair, and I look like I'm in my 40s. I am smiling. I am in a room with the door closed. Next slide, please. What is an elevator pitch? That's why we're all here, right? What is an elevator pitch? It's any kind of short speech that sells an idea, markets your business, or promotes you as an individual. You need to be able to say what you do in an interesting way, showcase your value, and how you can be a resource to your listeners. It tends to be short, 30 seconds or less. For example, an elevator ride from the lobby to the top floor. I'm here in New York City, so that's just about right. Next slide, please. In thinking about your pitch, consider your mindset, your value, and your template. Mindset. Are you optimistic or are you pessimistic? Are you fearful or are you confident? Your value. How can you benefit a potential employer or client? What issues can you solve for them? Template. Okay, there are so many different types of templates. We're just going to look at one today in our 30-minute breakout session. So for your template, the content of the template depends, and the time varies from 10, 30, or 60 seconds. Next slide, please. So the meat of your pitch, or the main ingredient, is showcase your value statement. Your value, that's the meat. Or let's use an analogy of a cake. If I would present flour to you and say, here's your cake, you would say, oh my goodness, Sabrina, you've really lost your mind. But if I say to you, okay, here's some flour, here's some salt, here's some baking powder, you would still say, oh no, this is not a cake, Sabrina. But the value statement is the main ingredient in this context of your elevator pitch. So what is that? Your statement is, I help X do Y by means of Z. So what is what X? X is who? People, organizations. Y is what? How do you take action? Z is how? By providing data, presenting alternatives, addressing concerns, coordinating activities. So remember, your value statement is the meat or the main ingredient of your pitch. So I help X do Y by means of Z. Next slide, please. So let's look at some examples of value statements. I help X do Y by means of Z. I help hospitals improve patient experiences by testing and implementing patient solutions. Okay, let's look at that a little closer. I help hospitals, that's my X, improve patient experiences, my Y, by testing and implementing patient solutions, which is my Z, okay? All right, let's look at the next value statement. I work with women to overcome imposter syndrome by facilitating support groups. Okay, so let's break that down. I work with women, X, that's my who, to overcome imposter syndrome, which is my Y, which is the what. And the means is by facilitating support groups. That's my how. Okay, I work with women to overcome imposter syndrome by facilitating support groups. All right, let's look at the third example of a value statement. I partner with nonprofits to reduce their costs by helping them coordinate common events. Okay, let's break this down. Who are you working with? I partner with nonprofits. What? What kind of action are you taking? To reduce their costs. That's your why. And then your how. How do you do that? By helping them coordinate common events. That's your Z. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so your 30-second elevator pitch. This is a template. It's just a template, right? There are many templates out there. So we're just going to practice just this type of template, all right? So I want everybody to relax. Don't get stressed out about it. And so we're going to put this, we're going to break it down and we're going to put it in the context. Like I was sharing with you earlier, if you have ingredients to a cake, flour will be the main ingredient. You have all of these other ingredients with it. And what are you going to do with those ingredients? Mix them around and you're going to put them in the oven for your cake. So let's look at this particular template for a 30-second elevator pitch. Number one, your first and last name and specialty. Number two, your value statement, your X, who? I've been helping international students. Why? What? Understand American values and norms. Z, how? Through project team exercises. And I hope to do the same for firms with expats in the US. 3, your call to action. This is really important. I think you know Sandra Smith at ABC International. Can you introduce us? Next slide, please. Okay, so an actual oven scenario, right? Because you're going to have many scenarios. You're going to be practicing your 30-second pitch to your friends, your family. Start with low-lying fruit first. And then as you develop your pitch and your confidence, you're going to practice with your networking circle, who would include former colleagues, current colleagues. And then when you're ready, you're going to use your pitch. That's right, you're going to use your elevator pitch in an actual interview. So for this scenario, for this oven, Tracy, Megan, it's Tracy Stewart. It's been a while since we worked at Car Corporation. Megan, How are you? Tracy, great. I've been helping international students understand American values and norms through project team exercises, and I hope to do the same for firms with expats in the US. I think you may know Sandra Smith at ABC International. Can you introduce us? Okay, so in looking at this elevator pitch, you can use it, which you have already done in the past, or your elevator pitch may include for what you would like to do for an employer or a client. In this case, she's connecting what she did in the past to what she wants to do in the present or in the future. Next slide, please. Okay, so in this slide, we're going to go to our activity. It's your turn. The 30-second elevator pitch. It is to be used for situations where only a brief introduction is possible. You will be assigned to a breakout room. A selected facilitator will assist you in the 30-second pitch exercise. Okay, next slide, please. I would like for everyone, when you're in your breakout session, to please show grace and feedback. Grace and feedback, okay? Please demonstrate grace, courteousness, kindness, and giving and receiving feedback. Some feedback considerations. What did you remember the most? Did you want to ask, tell me more? What did you like the most about the pitch? Was the delivery style enthusiastic? What was the delivery style? Was it in a monotone voice? Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so now we're going to go into breakout groups with facilitators. I believe Jeff or Scott will be breaking us up into our breakout.
All right, this is Scott. We seem to be fully back. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, great. So this is Elizabeth, and now I'm going to turn it over to Sabrina, who will lead us in a very short debrief. Sabrina?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, all right. Next slide, please. So this is our group debriefing. Please use the chat to share your 30-second elevator pitch. What did you learn from this exercise? I'm sure everybody realizes that you will need to refine your elevator pitch by incorporating feedback that you've received today. Remember, do not memorize it verbatim. That's just really not the way to go. Please outline in your mind the key points that you want to express to your target audience. Remember to practice, practice, practice. Record on your cell phone, ask others for feedback. So now I would like to ask Scott. Scott, I can't see our facilitators, but can we have a facilitator present their learning? And Scott, since you can see everyone and I can't, from my group, the biggest takeaway is you first have to know where you want to work or who is your potential employer. We had a participant who just graduated from her PhD program. So she had a challenge in completing the exercise because she just didn't know where she wanted to work. So that's really important. Definitely put where you would like to work and then what their needs are. You have to have clarity about that. And remember, your pitch is tailored to your audience. Okay, so let's see. A facilitator, can a facilitator unmute themselves and please give your takeaway?
Hi, it's Bob. I'll do one takeaway.
Thank you.
We had some really great statements. I would say a recurrent theme was that people needed to be more specific and distinctive when they talked about the how, especially with regard to their anthropological training, without making anthropology the centerpiece of it necessarily, so focusing on their skills, so that an employee could say, oh, I can use that. I can really use that skill.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. Okay, someone else? A takeaway, a key learning?
This is Kathleen. We had a lot of good pitches. I think that the takeaway is that we need to remember when we're coming out of university or we're coming out of a postdoc is that all of that learning is valuable in creating you as a professional. And so credit that. Don't dismiss it until you've had a good job. It is part of your learning, your experience, your skills.
Thank you, Kathleen. Next facilitator.
Hi, this is Grayson. We had a number of key points that came out of our session, but one that I felt was really useful was to use modern contemporary language that was appropriate to both your background as a person as well as the field that you're interested in, the person you're talking to.
Thank you.
Hi.
Next facilitator, one or two more facilitators, please.
Hi, this is Neil. I had a great group of people to work with, and they all had good elevator speeches. What I took away from this was how optimistic I am about where our discipline is going. These folks have great career potential and careers. So thank you for inviting us all into this.
Great.
Sabrina, thank you. Thank you, Sabrina. I think we really need to close.
Okay.
So I'd like to just thank all of our presenters and our facilitators today, and let everyone know that you will be receiving an evaluation form that will be emailed to you. You can visit the American Anthropological Association website at americananthro.org. And there, in a day or so, you'll find the webinar recording from today. You'll see the slide deck, the chat responses to questions that you have posed that we didn't have time to answer. And there are already a lot of resources listed under webinar 1. Next week, we have 5 secrets for building networks that lead to jobs. Same time, same place. Jeff, anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it. I want to thank everyone for attending, and Elizabeth brought up again, check our webinar page, and for the next 3 consecutive Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to be doing further career research. Thank you, and that's it.
Thank you very much. See you next week.